All right, I call this one Jew Reacts to Israel, Net Favorability, and Jew Fatigue, featuring Joel Davis. This is Jew Reacts. All right, so this is from Joel Davis. If you don't know who that is, he's widely regarded as a white nationalist or something of that sort. They who knows which slander they choose today. Anywho, this is from his Telegram, and he is quoting something. I don't know what he's quoting, but here's what it says. Net favorability, the percentage of people viewing Israel positively after subtracting the percentage viewing it negatively, dropped globally by an average of 18.5 points between September and December, decreasing in 42 out of the 43 countries polled. China, South Africa, Brazil, and several other countries in Latin America all went from viewing Israel positively to negatively, and many rich countries that already had net negative views of Israel, including Japan, South Korea, and the UK, saw steep declines. Net favorability in Japan went from minus 39.9 to minus 62, and South Korea from minus 5.5 to minus 47.8, and in the UK from minus 17.1 to minus 29.8. And Joel Davis's comment is the entire world is developing Jew fatigue at a rapid pace. Oh boy. Oy vey. So, man, it's finally the time has finally come. So, I personally think that everything going on with Jews and Israel is central to understanding the geopolitics of 2024. Whether that's the fact that Blinken is Jewish and Victoria Nuland is Jewish, and they run point on the Ukraine war, and obviously Israel and Palestine is centered around the Jews and their relationship to persecution and genocide and victim versus perpetrator. And you're seeing that regardless, like you see, I have a lot of, look, I'm Mr. Jew, man. I've been to Israel. I davened at the Wailing Wall. I went to yeshiva at Aish Torah in Jerusalem. And the contradictions are becoming a bit too glaring for the world, right? So my point is, when I give my Jew bona fides, is that I have a lot of Jewish friends, and I see, and many of them have made Aliyah, and they live in Israel, and I see through their eyes. We just want to live in peace, and they want to kill us, and sometimes you have to confront evil in brutal ways, and that's just life. And but the fact is that social media has given pretty dispassionate populations of the world the ability to start getting versions of the story. I'm not going to claim that they're getting the truth with a capital T, but they're certainly getting a truth and a perspective. I saw this video of a Israeli family visiting a coffee shop in Hanoi, Vietnam, and the owner kicking them out. And it was so interesting to me because the dynamic is like, this Israeli guy was like, you don't know what kind of hornet's nest you've just kicked. Like, we're going to cancel you, basically. And it's like, get out of here. Like, I don't know who you are. I don't care. Cancel what? And of course, there's two things with that. It's like the cultural context of being a Vietnamese guy in Hanoi is like is not the Jewish question is not central to his existence compared to the pho question, right? And that's just the reality of the world is that people get that's why cancellation is so scary because like 95% of people they just read headlines and the headlines on Israel is not good, bro. It's not good. Even if the Jews are right and the Israelis are right about their point with respect to sometimes you have to be brutal, is not good optics, bruh. Like the shit don't look good. And motherfucking Brazil and South Africa and China and Latin America and Japan and South Korea, they don't really give a shit that much, bro. They got their own Asian shit going on. They got their fucking, samba going on. Like, this is just some shit they're scrolling through on social media, for the most part. And the optics is not good. And so yeah, the entire world is developing Jew fatigue at a rapid pace. And when you look at the rise in America in particular, but also across the pond, you look at the rise of people like Nick Fuentes and Candace Owens that are openly speaking about Jewish influence unapologetically and really bringing facts, like a lot, a lot, a lot, a lot. And then you see the way they get attacked by people like Jordan Peterson and Ben Shapiro, who just come off as like not someone you want to be associated with, bro. It's like get it together. Like what the fuck? Like this is not like these people are coming with names and dates and places and times, and you're coming with insults, and then you're complaining about like people coming at Jews with insults as anti-Semitic, but then I don't want to get into this. Like, if the left did what, like, I don't want to play that game. That's not really the point. But the point is that like the optics is not good, and I feel like it's so crazy because I definitely think Jonathan Greenblatt may be one of the most evil human beings alive. With that said, I feel like Jonathan Greenblatt, to his great credit, he gets this. That leaked phone call, there was a leaked phone call that happened, I don't know, a month ago, 2 months ago. What is time anymore? We're in the fucking fifth dimension, bruh. He was like, hey man, we got problems, bro. These like young kids, they don't have net favorability for Jews, right? Like, they're on the side, like, who are the brown people? The Jews are white people, white looking people, right? And the Palestinians are brown people, and the Jewish multiculturalism. If you look at the the names of the authors and the professors who spread multiculturalism, it's a lot of Jews, bro. They taught about like not necessarily the white man's burden, but like the white man is a burden, and the brown people have been subjugated and suppressed as such, and now a bunch of white-looking people are subjugating a bunch of brown people, but they're going, no, we're not white, we're Jewish, and it's like, bitch, what the fuck are you talking about? You want it both ways, and then that's where the smart people get Jew fatigue. They're like, wait, which one are you? Are you white or are you Jewish? You just use whichever one you want when it's convenient. And then the typical answer is you're anti-Semitic, and it's like, whoa, that's not an answer. And then it's like, oh, you don't think you have to answer the question? Wow, that is what is typically attributed to bitch ass people, is people that just play the victim card when real questions start coming up. And what's really crazy about that is you see, like, I think what's especially crazy, I'm just fucking rambling at this point, but I think I'm spitting, so it's all good. But Candace Owens talked about this with David Horowitz. I mean, I feel like I should make a whole fucking other video about this. Is like David Horowitz gave Candace Owens a fucking award for calling out black degeneracy. How brave you are for being a black woman calling out black degeneracy when black people are just, crying about systemic racism all the time. And then when Candace Owens started criticizing Israel and Jewish influence, David Horowitz, I can't remember what he called her, but he basically called her like a rat. It's like, oh, this isn't like, this is a rules for thee, not for me situation. And I do think, I think this is like the most important thing happening, because this is a rock and a hard place kind of shit, because there is a lot of Jewish influence, and there's the people that have, the Silicon Valley people that have switched over to Trump, Ben Horowitz, David Sachs, Sean McGuire, the Winklevoss twins, Joe Lonsdale. I'm sure, those are just the only, like, they're all Jewish. And like Bill Ackman. Oh my God. I'm so glad I didn't forget Bill Ackman, because that would have been, people would have been like, bro, what's wrong with you? Yeah. And when did I think Bill Ackman, even more than David Sachs, is like the point person on this, because he's the one. Like David Sachs is always, he's a little bit like Peter Thiel, and like he doesn't count or something. But Ackman, when did he start to switch? When he saw the protests against Israel. It's like, oh, the left is not. I'm like a progressive. I'm like a urban progressive. And that's, bro. That's the waters I swim in. That's my fucking peoples, bruh. Like just like Curtis Yarvin. I'm like a blue guy. I'm a fucking, what do you call it? Like a nomadic urban. Wait, I can't remember right now. Anyway, Ackman is the reason, or he was like the first mover in this shift. And so now what's going to happen when a new group of largely Jewish big tech people start to like take over MAGA, and I'm not sure how good the optics are. There's a lot of not that great optics going on, and then they'll if any of them were to ever see this, they'll be like, oh, this guy is like he's a self-hating Jew, or he's like he's anti-Semitic, and like, okay, that's fine. Call me what you want, bitch ass. I don't give a fuck. So, and that's the point, is that there's a lot of people like me that increasingly are just like, dude, I don't fucking care what you call me. I don't, like, what do I care? And the issue is that the names I listed are some of the biggest donors to Trump now. And they did switch because of the left turning against Israel. And they are Jewish. And so no matter how many names get called, facts are facts. And whatever happens to me, like, other people are beginning to see this stuff as well. And like, so what? Like, so what is like, bro, it's time for some fucking truth and reconciliation. Like, what the fuck is going on with this? Like, and then you go back through American history, and a lot of people have been talking about this. Who was the biggest, like, who was the Elon Musk of the 20th century? Henry Ford. What is Henry Ford most known for? Is, other than Ford, is like writing essay after essay after newspaper after newspaper about the Jews. And it's like, oh, and then anyway, this stuff is just gonna keep escalating, bro. And I feel like this is just incredibly central, and I think it's got to be really, really, really upsetting to people in power that this is happening all over the world. A 20-point drop in what, 3 months, in decreasing in 42 out of 43 countries. Net favorability in Japan dropped 22 points. In South Korea, it dropped 42 points. These are steep declines, and I'm not sure. I feel like this game theoretically incentivizes Israel to keep escalating, because it's like the optics is so bad that, hey, might as well just fucking go for the gusto while there's still a gusto to be gone for. And because of that, I think that the period of time we're in is likely to just get dicier and dicier and dicier. And I really want to have these conversations with people that are willing and able to think about these things very deeply, because I think it's very nuanced, and nuanced in the sense that, man, how is it? It's like, what is to be done about this? Like, I don't know. I have no idea. I guess my real question is, how does this end in a way that ultimately leads to something like a golden age, as opposed to something that looks like the Samson option? And if you're someone who is also thinking about these things deeply, please consider going to my website and clicking Otis 12D and seeing if you're interested in becoming a citizen, because I think these are really important conversations, and I think that they're typically either not had at all, or they're had in a way that is like, I don't know. It's just not, it's not sophisticated. And I'd like to have sophisticated conversations about these things. That's something that I would really I find that very desirable, the idea of that. So that's Jew Reacts, bruh. Peace.
Otis5D.xyz.
Go fuck yourself.